Hello friends, I am Nikita. I am a national instructor and a chess trainer. Welcome to our YouTube channel Chess Kaksha. In today's video, we are going to learn French defense Rubinstein variation. In my previous video, we have learned French defense advanced variation. So, we are going to learn today French defense Rubinstein variation. So, let's learn this opening. When white move e4, black move e6, this is the starting of the French defense. d4, d5. In my last video, we have discussed that white can either trade this pawn, advance this pawn, or either it can defend this pawn by knight to c3. So today we will discuss what happens if we defend this e4 pawn with knight to c3. This is the most popular way to meet the French defense. You can see white develops his knight and protects his e4 pawn. Now, d cross e4, black seems to give up the center, but this is not really true. He will soon fight it again, usually with the move c7 to c5. Actually, black's idea is to trade his pieces for solid position. Knight cross e4, you can see white has more space and excellent opportunities for active piece development. Now black move knight to d7. This is the most reliable move. You can see black prepares knight to f6 and also challenging white's centralized knight. Now white move knight to f3, developing another knight, knight to f6, knight cross f6 with check. White is just trying to simplifying the position. Knight cross f6, bishop to d3. This is the white's most popular move. This is a basic move in the Rubinstein French. You can see this white bishop is fighting for the center. Besides this bishop to d3, white has some more options here. Let's see one by one. White can also move bishop to g5, but you can see this bishop can be kicked off by h6. So the another option is bishop to e3. Bishop to e3 is also popular move. Then black will move bishop to d6. Black simply continues with his development. Bishop to d3, b6. b6 is making space for his bishop to b7. Knight to e5, castling. Queen to f3, knight to d5. Black looks fine here. Let's see another option for white after knight cross f6. So after knight cross f6, white can also move c3. Idea is to put pressure on black by bringing his knight to e5, bishop to e3 and queen to a4. Black will move c5, knight to e5. Black should prevent the check on b5. a6. This a6 is preventing this check to b5 square. Bishop to e3, queen to c7. Then check comes with queen to a4. Knight to d7 defending the check. Castling. C cross d4. Knight takes d7. Bishop takes d7 knight. Queen takes d4 pawn. Bishop to c6. And you can see black bishop is actively placed on c6 and he is ready to follow up with rook to d8. So these were some of the options white can play after knight cross f6. Let's continue with bishop to d3, which is the white's most popular move. Now black moves c5. Nice move. This is a basic move in the Rubinstein French. You can see this c5 pawn is fighting for center. D cross c5 exchanging the attacked pawn. Bishop takes c5 and then white move queen to e2. Now white has the possibility of a solid approach. You can see now white can castle, then bishop to g5 and then rook a to d1. Theory claims advantage for white. If after bishop cross c5, instead of playing queen to e2, if white chooses castling, then black castles. Black intends to follow up with this b6 and then bishop to b7 with a good game. The most popular attempt by white is to pin the knight by moving bishop to g5, b6, queen to e2, bishop to b7, rook to d1 and then queen to c7. This queen to c7 move weakening black pawn structure because white is going for exchange. Bishop cross f6, then g cross f6. The structure after g cross f6 usually not dangerous for black. This structure is dangerous for black when white can create some serious attack to this black's exposed king. So when queen moves to c7, white can also choose knight to e5. This move would be better, trying to keep more material on the board and building up an active position based on the strong centralized knight. After g cross f6, white plays bishop to e4 and black move rook to d8. More logical than move rook a to d8. Rook f to d8 is more logical because now f8 square is available for black king and bishop. Suppose if after bishop to e7, if bishop takes e4, then queen takes e4, rook comes to d8, then white moves c3 and black move f5, playing this f6 to f5. After this advance, the black bishop can find a good square on this g7 from where it can provide protection to his king. Now, white move queen to a4. Suppose if queen move to h4, then black move bishop to f8, knight to g5, then black can play h6. The game is equal. So after queen to a4, black move bishop to e7. You can see this bishop is controlling both squares, this g5 and h4 square. Rook takes d8, check. Rook takes d8. Rook to d1. Bishop moves to f6, ready to move on this g7 to provide protection to his king. g3. Rook takes d1, check. Queen takes d1 and exchanging all rooks. After all rook exchanging, you can see now black queen usually gets quite active plays. So now black can play without any problem. Game is equal now. Friends, I hope you like this video. So please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much.